If you've been watching the Alec Baldwin saga as it's gone from incident all the way to the end, you may have thought it was over. Well, turns out Alec Baldwin just got a very bad piece of information delivered because the second analysis on did he pull the trigger or not just kind of dropped some bombshells, and you guys are probably not going to be surprised by what they found. Everything will be linked in the description box below, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this one. And make sure that you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on. Distributing freedom twice daily, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Now, here's the thing. The reason that we covered this story from the very beginning was obviously the ultimate irony of Alec Baldwin being a tremendous anti-gun advocate, very, very judgmental, very, very aggressive towards anybody who believes in their Second Amendment rights. And then this terrible incident happens. Now, throughout this entire thing, he's done the usual route of it's not his fault. It couldn't have happened to him because he would never do that. And then when they discovered that it was his fault, he said that it's unconstitutional to enforce a law that was passed after it happened. So just like most gun controllers will do, they're all for gun control laws until they go against them, and then all of a sudden it's, well, that's unconstitutional. Hunter Biden is a really good example. So this is rife for hypocrisy and irony. But as we get into this, listen to what just happened from the New Mexico area around this specific case. Alec Baldwin, it ain't looking good. Prosecutors weigh second gun analysis in fatal shooting of cinematographer by Alec Baldwin. Prosecutors have received a second expert analysis of the revolver used in the fatal shooting of a cinematographer by Alec Baldwin on the set of Rust. We know that one. And they're now at the point of weighing whether to submit charges or not. Well, they said prior that if this research or this further analysis came back in a negative light for Alec Baldwin, they were getting more charges. That was one of the big things that they said. Well, let's break this down. The new gun analysis from experts in ballistics and forensic testing based in Arizona and New Mexico relied on replacement parts to reassemble the gun fired by Baldwin, after parts of the pistol were broken during earlier testing by the FBI. I'm just going to leave that there. The new report examines the gun and markings it left on a spent cartridge to conclude that the trigger had to have been pulled or depressed. Had to have been pulled or depressed. Now, the entire foundation of defense for Alec Baldwin was the gun malfunctioned, it wasn't his fault. This expert opinion just said that's not possible. In fact, listen to what they had to do to make it fire on accident, which kind of conflicts with the FBI. An August FBI report on the agency's analysis of the gun found that, as is common with firearms of that design, it could go off without pulling the trigger if force was applied to an uncocked hammer, such as by dropping the weapon, so effectively a negligent discharge by dropping it. Okay? The only way the testers could get it to fire was by striking the gun with a mallet while the hammer was down and resting on the cartridge, or by pulling the trigger while it was fully cocked. The gun eventually broke during the testing. The only way they could recreate this incident was if they hit the hammer that was resting on a primer, on a cartridge, with a mallet. Yeah, that's not good, Alec. I'm just saying. Let's continue, though. Although Alec Baldwin repeatedly denies pulling the trigger, given the test, findings, and observations reported here, the trigger had to be pulled or depressed sufficiently to release the fully cocked or retracted hammer of the evidence revolver, states the analysis led by this person, Forensic Science Services in Arizona. If I'm going to translate that out for you guys, if you're not familiar, that means you're in some deep crap. Because if that hammer is all the way forward, not cocked at all, and the only way that it's going to go off, as you are claiming that it would go off, is by striking it with enough force with a mallet to ignite the primer, you're toast. Particularly when you're pointing it directly in a direction. It didn't even drop. Yeah, that's not a good look. You got to do a lot of things to make that happen, and to be quite honest, I wouldn't want to be Alec Baldwin right now. But I've got one more thing for you, because now we get to find out if they get to press charges or not and see if the irony and hypocrisy gets the stand. Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey said in an email Tuesday that a formal announcement on whether to refile any charges against Baldwin is forthcoming, but didn't say how soon. In an early June court filing, prosecutors gave themselves 60 days to renew a case against Baldwin contingent on a determination that the gun did not malfunction. Quote, a possible malfunction of the gun significantly affects causation with regard to Baldwin, they wrote. Well, they just proved it couldn't have been an accident. The hammer had to be dropped by a pull of the trigger. That's not good if you're Alec. Just saying. But that's what we've got for you. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.